The problem is I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
When did you do CPR?
This morning, when I found him.
Before you called?
Yes!
It's 1 o'clock right now.
I tried. I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30-ish, whatever. So I came downstairs, and I was like, oh, he's in the suitcase still.
The body camera video of Sarah Boone, if you look closely, you see the date of that. This is, the morning that 911 is called and Orange County Sheriffs respond. It was 2/24/2020. Now, finally, Monday, attorney number 9 will be representing her, and the trial will begin right here on Court TV. Now, we've got an update because Sarah Boone made some motions, pretrial motions with her new attorney prior to the beginning of this trial. Let's go through some of them. First, she had a request to have her hair done. And yes, that's a check. Yes, you can have your hair done, Sarah Boone, at trial. Request to wear civilian clothes. Check. You will get to wear your civilian clothes. Okay, request to have her makeup done. Not happening. They had to draw the line somewhere. It seems like corrections had a little problem with that. Can't have it done. So she'll have her hair done, but she's not going to have the professional makeup artist come in. Request to have shackles and restraints removed during the trial. Yes, that would be prejudicial. And finally, this is the big one, folks. Request to have her interrogation video suppressed, kept out of evidence. It's coming in. It is coming in, folks. The interrogation video where she makes a lot of statements. She's all over the place. And in statements that may be considered inconsistent with the defense in this case. So Sarah Boone was on the stand on Wednesday for this pretrial motion here, discussing her mindset going into the police interrogation that she wanted tossed out of the case.
I was in shock. I was traumatized by the situation, and then trying to focus on everything that was going on at my home. I was hungover. I was still, I believe, intoxicated to a degree.
Well, the one thing, I mean, this is the first time I've seen her speak, and she seems relatively, like normal, right? She doesn't seem like something's off there, which may help her at trial. I took that away, but the explanation the judge wasn't necessarily buying as a basis to suppress it, so it's coming in. So I want to play for you some moments from that interrogation that the prosecution may want to use and the defense may not want the jury to consider.
But why is he saying I can't breathe, and why is he pushing on it as if he can't get out?
And it doesn't show a hole.
There's no hole. There's no fingers. I don't see his fingers. There's no hole.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't know, what you want me to tell you.
I'm just showing you. I'm just telling you what we see and what we've heard from the other video.
I understand.
He's begging for you to let him out. You're laughing in the beginning, and then in the end, it sounds kind of like
No, it's not malicious.
Well, saying
It's not malicious.
then what is that?
What does mean to you?
Well,
So it goes from funny to no longer funny,
but
and you're the only one laughing.
But I didn't think that he was, panicky.
So pushing up on a suitcase saying, Sarah, Sarah, Sarah,
I can't breathe.
George has done that in the past before, too, where it's just he thinks that he's woe is me kind of thing, where it's
He's never been locked in a suitcase. That's where he couldn't get out. So
it's I thought it was the boy crying wolf kind of thing.
Okay.
And again, my plan.
But nowhere in there is he laughing, is he joking. He is begging. And you're the only one laughing.
Okay.
And you're the only one saying derogatory comments, like you're mad.
No. please I don't mean to sound negative, and I don't know if I can say this, but like it's like you guys are kind of trying to like feed me. Like,
No, I'm just trying to show you a video that you no longer want to watch because you probably don't want to know the outcome of how and what you said.
well, I know what.
You know what's on that video now?
No.
You remember making that video?
Oh,
Why don't you remember making the video?
probably because we had been drinking.
But you weren't drunk.
Look, just because I went upstairs and just because you're drunk doesn't mean that you.
told us times that you were not drunk. You said that you had your wits about you. You said he had his wits about you.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you don't like not having your wits. In my experience, if somebody cannot remember doing something to the extent of making 2 videos and taking a photo, they are intoxicated.
Okay. My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep. My plan was not to. He'll be up here any minute.
But you
again-
willingly went upstairs and went to sleep. No one forced you to go upstairs and get
My
ready
plan
for
was
bed.
also to leave him in the suitcase
So why didn't you take him out?
because I went upstairs and then I fell asleep.
Okay, her defense now is battered spouse syndrome, self-defense. That's where the case is going. That's where the focus of the defense will be. Paulette Lofton, how much of a problem is this 2-hour interrogation, pieces like this? Does it fit with the defense, or does it become a problem for her?
I don't think it fits at all. So I think it's a large problem that those interrogations are going to be played for the jury. It's clear if we believe the facts as she presents them in those interviews, she at least had the upper hand at some point. She had him in a suitcase. He was unable to get out of the suitcase himself. He's begging her for help. And she took it upon herself to not call the police and tell them, you know, I'm finally done taking him back. This is the abuse I've been suffering. She went upstairs and went to sleep. It's clear that she's also making inconsistent statements, whether she was intoxicated or she wasn't intoxicated. I think that interview is really going to hurt her. I agree with you. I think she did present well in that hearing that they had earlier this week, and she seems to be calm and listen to the questions and answer them appropriately. But I think the jury's probably going to give a lot of weight to those interviews in the first hours after she calls 911.
I agree. Ben, the video is so powerful because you can hear George Torres suffering. Like any human hears what he's saying. You're like, this is a man obviously in distress. And she's not really acknowledging that. She literally said, he's always like, woe is me. George is dead. I mean, he suffered a horrible death. And afterwards she's saying, oh, he's always going, woe is me. That's a bad look.
Yeah, it's horrific, and just even the visual image of the suitcase and imagining somebody in that tiny area, it must have been torture for him. I think I agree with Paulette. I think it's absolutely damning and completely inconsistent with battered spouse syndrome.
So, Bernarda, and one thing that the attorney James Owens has said is, and he said it in court, he said it on the show, that I think a lot of focus will be about what happened before he got in the suitcase, and then also what happens before the video camera begins recording. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's got to come from her mouth, right? She has to testify in this. I don't see any way to attempt to make a case without her testifying.
Absolutely. So Sarah Boone does plan to present this defense of battered woman syndrome or self-defense. She's going to have to take the stand. So the big issue for her is, number one, is that she gave prior statements. She has the videotape statement. She has the statement from when the officers first encounter her. So she's going to be confronted with both of those statements and then what story she's going to give while on the stand. So if you look at all three of them, right there, you have a lot of inconsistencies. And when you're trying to evaluate credibility, one of the main factors that you look at is are there any inconsistencies? Has she said this story before? Did she first report it when she had the first opportunity? For example, when the officers first came to her, and they're going to find that she did not. I don't think she comes off also as likable. And also, one thing that does work in her favor, though, Vinny, is that the prosecutors don't have exactly what happened beforehand. The only two people that can say what happened beforehand is Sarah Boone and the person who is dead. And now that person's dead, so they can't speak.
Paulette, the expert really has to, a defense expert has to explain to the jury all of her behavior afterwards, right? That's the only way to try to reconcile it, because I think if regular folks who haven't studied this syndrome and don't know anything about it will just look at her and then listen to George in the suitcase, and you know, we're gonna believe that this whole thing is made up unless an expert can somehow explain why she would be like she was in the video, on the body camera video, and in the interrogation room.
I agree. Battered spouse syndrome is absolutely something that is real and can be proved. So yes, I think this is going to really turn into a battle of the experts. The experts will be able to explain to the jury that her behavior is either common or not common with someone who is actually suffering from the syndrome, and why she may not act like you would think you would act in a similar situation. So it is something that is possible. It is something that is proven to juries. But I think those videos are really going to come back to haunt her. And I think whatever the expert says, I think the jury is going to put a lot of weight in those first interviews that she did.
Big thank you, Paulette Lofton, Bernardo Villalona, Ben Chu. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend. When we come back, I will reveal something else you need to know, plus coming up next hour.
Tonight on Vinnie Politan Investigates, a wife and mother is stabbed to death, and a man responding to a BDSM ad is shot and killed. What is going on in Virginia? Tonight, we investigate the au-pair love triangle murder case.
Join Court TV's Vinnie Politan with the latest and breaking true crime stories.
Now, let's look at the other side of all of that.
Vinnie Politan Investigates, coming up next, only on Court TV.
Tell me in your own words, and in as much detail as you can, what happened that night?
Time to reveal something else you need to know tonight. Let's look at the big board. Husband missing, wife accused of murder. This is a case you need to know about. Wow. You're talking about the victim here. Here he is, Matthew Johnson, a member of the National Guard, but even more importantly, a husband and a father, 3 young children. The woman next to him, that's the one accused of his murder. Let me read from the probable cause affidavit. Jennifer Gledhill, that's her name. According to a confidential informant, openly admitted to killing Johnson by shooting him in the head while he slept. Johnson was shot while on the mattress inside the master bedroom of their home in the beautiful Cottonwood Heights area of Utah, $1 million home. Jennifer also told the informant that she had removed the body and had relocated his remains to a shallow grave at an undisclosed location. Could she do it by herself? Since September 21st, Matthew has had no contact with anyone, including his children. He is missing. We will keep an eye on this story for you folks. But right now, I need you to put your eyes on the screen because we have a missing child who needs your help. This is Devin Steen, just 16 years old, missing out of Indianapolis, Indiana since September 29th. If you see Devin, pick up the phone, make a call, make a difference. You can call 911, 1-800-THE-LOST, or you can call the Lawrence Police Department in Indiana. Let's see if we can get Devin to a safe place tonight. Don't go anywhere. We've got another hour of live true crime. Vinnie Politan Investigates is up next. In the meantime, please don't forget to hug the kids.